Hey, we're
Hello.
back at the Spanish table.
Here we
Yes.
are. It's Friday and it's 5 o'clock.
And we have a lovely wine and a lovely recipe. Let me tell you about the recipe.
Okay, but first, should we have some bubbly? Because we made it through another week. And man, oh man, each week we treat yourself. Treat yourself.
All right.
Okay.
But this is a really exciting recipe, so I can't wait to show you.
Okay. While I open it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So this is a blackberry flan, okay? And we'll tell you the story of flan as we prepare it. And essentially...
See, I would be even more of a pro if it hadn't even popped, and if I had a little barely audible hiss. But oh well. I guess when you're on Facebook Live, there's a little pressure. So okay.
Really good, my sweets.
Here we go. We are trying our 2017 Blanc de Noirs.
And we're going to be picking the grape for the 2019 on Sunday.
2020.
Sorry, 2020.
Yeah, that year that we hopefully will not remember too much of once it's over.
But we will make wonderful wines. Yum, yum.
Oh, that sure does hit the spot.
Okay, can I start though?
Yeah, I'm so excited for this recipe. I love desserts.
I love desserts. And okay, so this is going to be blackberries, of course. And what I did is that I the recipe that's on our website, right?
Yep. All the links, to the recipe, the wine, all in the content of the post and on our website.
So essentially, we're going to put the milk, the vanilla extract, this is milk, and so I've made up 2 half recipes so that you wouldn't have to spend.
But what are we making?
I said it, Blackberry
Did you say
Flan.
it? I guess I was busy.
This is a perfect time to make it because there's so many natural blackberries around.
I remember growing up picking blackberries on the bushes right here on DuPont Road.
That's right, sugar, egg yolks, that would be 4 egg yolks. And we're going to put half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, okay? And then we're going to cook that slowly, and so that the egg yolks and the milk form a custard. And that's going to, oops, that's too much. Oh, well, and then that's going to be the custard base. So you can talk about the wine while I do this.
All right. Well, this is our 2017 Blanc de Noir. So Blanc de Noir means white of red in French because it is a Pinot, 100% Pinot Noir that looks white. And so that is classic in Champagne, the Blanc de Noir, and ours is also made in the traditional Champagne method or traditional method, which means a second fermentation in the bottle, which I'll get into more because sparkling production is really,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, I'll try this one that's good.
That's fine. Well, we'll give Mom the time because the recipe and the cooking is the most important part.
No, this is plastic. It's
there we go. It's our fancy one. So let's see. So Blanc de Noir, 100% Pinot, and it's from the fruit is from our Sonoma Coast vineyard. So it's even cooler than we are here at home on the property where the winery is in Russian River Valley. And this is our first ever vintage of Blanc de Noir, and the 2017 first ever, and boy oh boy, I'm sure glad, I think everyone is pleased that we added that wine to the list.
And I think frankly in the 1 year or more since the disgorging, I like it even better. Maybe that's because, I don't know, I'm just getting used to it and I like it every day.
And let us know who's here, who has tuned in. We love to connect with you guys. Now it's once a month. It's First Fridays. And it's so good, during these so crazy times to still be able to.
Let's talk about flan. You told me an incredible story that I've never heard.
About the origins?
Yes.
Right. So I did some Googling, because I said, well, what are the origins of flan? And so I know that it's very common in Spain and in Mexico. So the origins go all the way back to the Roman times. The Romans developed, what did they have? for some reason they had a surplus of eggs. I can't remember what the reason was. I ran out of time to write it all down. And they had a surplus of eggs, and so they started doing a lot more egg-based recipes. And thus came the flan. But their flan was always savory, and it had things such as like eel and black pepper, which sounds a little funny now.
But I make flans savory, like mushroom flan.
Yeah, and then the Romans, so the Romans, of course, like conquered the world, or at least their part of the world, and brought flan with them. And after the Roman Empire fell, the Spaniards really adopted, like by then the Spaniards had really adopted it, and so it's become a really important part of Spanish cuisine. And then, of course, as the Spaniards conquered the world, they brought it first to Mexico, and it caught on like fire there. Oh, and by that time, it was already primarily a sweet dish. This is probably a lot more detail than you wanted on flan, but thank you to the internet. And yeah, and the Spaniards were the first to add like the slight caramel sauce on flan. And then it went to Mexico and all over Latin America, and it's a really quintessential part of Mexico.
Okay, my turn.
Too. Yep.
My turn. I'm going to tell you that I mixed all those 4 ingredients, and I made it really fast. Normally, what you do, remember, this is half a recipe, so it takes about 15 minutes of going very slowly and low heat. But I did it fast, and it's going to curdle. Actually, it's not even curdling. So it's once you put a spoon there, and you can go like this. And like that, it's done. So it's done, and I'm gonna put it here.
All right. Oh, we have some friends who've joined us. You want to know who?
Yes.
All right. Sam Y, so good to see you as always. Hope you and Corley are well. Steve Walker, our friend who works at Boise, joined us for our Paella Zoom. David Clardy, also, we've all been cooking together for a few months now, which is so fun.
And then they send us pictures of
send us photos of your dishes, and we love sharing them, resharing. Emily Russell, we love you. We couldn't do things without you. And Raymond Shu, we went to Princeton together. It's been a long time, Raymond. My birthday twin. Good to quote unquote see you.
Okay, now what I've done is I've added the gelatin. This uses some gelatin for firming. Firming up the thingamajig. And
for gelatinizing.
Gelatin. Thank you very much.
I'm being sarcastic.
And with a little bit of creme de cassis, voila. So Cristina said, well, what if they don't have creme de cassis? And I don't know, because I've always used this. But it's pretty available in the markets. And it's really good.
And plus, what's that really good drink with sparkling and creme de cassis?
Oh, yes.
Kir Royale.
Oh, yes, we could do it with this.
Kir Royale?
Let's try it.
Kir Royale. Is that Kir Royale?
Yes, absolutely.
I do love a nice Kir Royale.
Yes, let's try it. Let's put a little bit of... Well, I don't know, maybe.
I mean, you don't make sangria with your wines.
Okay, let's change the subject. So this is gonna, it's gonna be a little warm, and it's gonna dissolve.
And let us know any questions or comments, what you're drinking right now, if you want to know substitutions. As you may have learned by now, I asked my mom for substitutions, and she's like, well, no, you don't substitute. So we'll see what we can do, but at least ask.
Okay, so here's the gelatin and the creme de cassis warm, so that the gelatin will dissolve. Actually, it didn't dissolve, did it? Okay, let's pretend that it dissolved. And now that's it, Kate. Yeah, that's all the cooking. Imagine, the rest is really easy.
Wow.
And now we go like this, we mix it up.
Smells good.
And then we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice. Right. This goes here, this goes away. And we're going to add about a tablespoon, but more or less. And then we'll taste it.
And how, because I know that adding lemon juice to like eggs, it sometimes curdles, right? So at what point does it not curdle?
Well, you just have to mix it very quickly. Very quickly. Yeah.
It's not related to temperature?
And I thought this was going to curdle because I had the heat so high, and it didn't because I was going very.
It's not related to temperature.
What?
Curdling, avoiding curdling.
Yeah, it's a high temperature will curdle. Yeah.
So avoid high temperature.
But actually, if you curl it, it doesn't matter because it's gonna go with with blackberries inside.
Okay,
You
all
wouldn't
right.
notice. Okay, so I think that I have everything, and now we're going to mix. Okay, this is gonna be the basis, and now we're gonna mix the the lemon juice, and this goes now in the fridge. Okay, and it's gonna go in the fridge until it starts to settle. Okay. Theoretically.
All right. Shall I explain the production of Blanc de Noir?
Yes.
All right. So, sparkling wine. There are a lot of different ways. So the most classic or I don't know original, the way Dom Perignon quote unquote discovered sparkling wine was with was it? I don't know. At least this is the champagne method according to everyone. The champagne method means that you make a base wine, and then you take that base wine and you bottle it, and you add yeast nutrient, sugar, and so that spurs a second fermentation in the bottle. And then what happens is when the yeast die and they turn into lees, which forms a sediment, the bottle lies on its side. I'm going to use this since our sparkling is open. So the yeast forms a sediment at the bottom of the bottle, and this is the lees. And as the lees break down, the yeast breaks down, it's a process called autolysis. And they release amino acids, and it creates this very it's a slow process. It's at least 12 months. And it means that it really adds to the texture. It changes the aromas as well. You get much more of the kind of like brioche, pastry, bready. And so the fruit, you get a little less of the primary fruit characteristics. Anyways, it's quite complicated, and we're not even we're maybe a third of the way there. So once that aging, once we're happy with the autolysis, then the riddling starts. And so traditionally it was always done by hand, and it's a very slight movement over time of slightly going clockwise and slightly until eventually it's vertical, so that I closed it. I did close it.
Okay.
It's now closed.
Right.
And so eventually the yeast collects at the neck, at the bottom of the bottle. And thank you very much. And in order to remove that, you flash freeze the neck of the bottle, and then it used to be done by hand, and now there are very good machines that remove the cork, take out the frozen part, add some wine and sometimes sugar, unless it's zero dosage, to fill it up so it's full again. Add the crown capsule, and there we go. Then we've got champagne or traditional method sparkling. Was that confusing enough?
Do you not think that I can try a little with some cassis?
All right, it's your wine. It's your which goes first.
That.
Okay.
What fun, right? We've never done it. Okay,
That's true.
It's it.
That's
a
true.
little
That's
bit.
true.
Just a little bit.
Like how much? Like that?
Yeah.
All right. And what have you guys been? Tell us what you've been enjoying baking or doing in terms of desserts at home. We did a few other episodes. How is it?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Taste. See
Right.
what you think. I mean, it's a little sweeter. But what the hell, right?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Pretty good. But
We had a couple some of my favorite episodes actually. The lemon tart, Aunt Oriola's lemon tart.
That's
It's
right.
really good. I recommend that one if you guys like tarts.
Yeah.
Lemon.
Okay, now
It's
can I
super
talk
easy.
about my version of the flan?
Okay.
So what happens is flan, as you know, as Cristina said, is a very common dessert in Spain. But really, in Spain, at home, we never had desserts except on Sundays. Maybe we would go to the pastry shop and buy a cake or something. And but except when my mother had her beautiful parties twice a year only. But then she did all the baking. She loved to bake, like Cristina. And then she,
It's
at
the
home-
ladylike part.
It's a ladylike part, yeah, right. And so I loved, going in the kitchen, touching the fish and so on. My mother was so upset. Your hands don't smell good. Have you been touching the fish? Yes, I have. Anyway, And so so I don't know where I was. Okay, flan. So we made a lot of flans, like the coconut flan that's in my first book. The apple flan is in my second, and this is kind of a sophisticated version. It comes from a wonderful restaurant in Barcelona. And anyway, so what you do
Nice
now?
shell.
Nice shell.
Ah,
Exactly,
I've heard about
exactly.
nice shell.
So meanwhile, while that thing gets cold,
Okay.
we are going to make the sauce. So the sauce is just strawberry, blackberries, okay, which we put in the Cuisinart, and a little bit of crème de cassis, of course, and some sugar. And we're gonna go.
This is for the sauce that goes on top of the flan.
Exactly. And we go like that, or something like that. Okay, of course. And no, don't talk.
Only drink.
No, and that's it, really.
Oh, Wrong says, our good friend Wrong, who always joins us for the shows too, that he only bakes banana bread, and I think that banana bread has been like a really, really popular COVID baking choice. I understand, and I love banana bread. I definitely stick some chocolate chips in there because it makes it even better. There's a really good New York Times recipe that I love. And I stick like a little extra, some nutmeg. It's pretty darn good.
Okay, so back to the flan in Spain. So what happened, and I know that was back in the 17th century, that that's my version, that the winemakers in Jerez, in sherry, used a lot of egg whites, which, as you probably know, are used for clarifying or filtering the wines. So there was nothing to do with the egg yolks, and Prince Philip III, right? I think so.
Know.
Yeah, I think it was the third, who decided, well, he would give them to the Clarissas nuns.
Hello! So you made it to almost the end. We continued on for like 5 more minutes, and we didn't even know that our Wi-Fi had gone out. But thank goodness we got through almost all the recipe, and hopefully we will be in the good graces of the internet angels for next time, and this will not happen again. But so it goes living in the countryside. Thanks for tuning in, and see you soon.